Hello, and welcome to Frugal Homestead. Thank you for joining me on this channel, and thank you for my new subscribers. I'm so excited to get on and see you're here. Welcome. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Today I am going to renovate some chairs that I found on Craigslist for free. And I got two chairs like this. This is what they look like when I received them. And they had this pad on it that really needed to be changed. And on the back of it, I unscrewed the pad from the seat, and there were just 4 screws holding it on. And I noticed that on the back it needed to have the pad covering removed. So what I did is I took the frame first of all, and I spray painted it with white spray paint. The spray paint is similar to the Rust-Oleum type paint that will kind of prevent it from rusting, but I got this at Dollar General, the spray paint. And then I got busy removing that duct tape and the staples to get that old cover off. Underneath there was sort of a plastic cover, and what I did is I cleaned that cover, took the old cover off and threw it away, but then I sanitized and cleaned the padding that was underneath with some baking soda and vinegar and sat it in the sun until it dried. Then I dusted off all of the residual baking powder and sprayed it with some Lysol disinfecting spray to get any other germs that might be lingering. And then I just let it sit in the sun and dry. To make the slip cover, what I did is I cut a strip of the shower curtain, and it's turned inside out so that the pretty side is on the inside and the back side is facing me right now. So this fabric is doubled. Okay. And what I did is I put the seat pad here. I put the seat pad here just to measure how wide of a piece of fabric I needed. And I left a margin of about 1.5 to 2 inches on each side. It will depend upon how thick your seat pad is. My seat pad is about 1 inch thick. So 1.5 inches on both sides causes it to be nice and tight, but leaves room for the seat pad to slip into this casing that I'm about to make. And very simply, I just made a slip cover just like a pillowcase. I sewed a seam that went down this side, another seam that went down this side, and I left this side open. Okay, real simple. And once those seams were in, I just flipped the entire thing to the other side, to the pretty side. Okay, and so after flipping it over to the other side, I slipped the pad inside of there, and then I moved on to the next step. Okay, I hope that's clear. If it's not clear, please leave me a question in the comment section, and I am happy to make that clearer. But I wanted to at least give this much of an explanation because those of you who sew already know how to do this, but there are going to be some people, I hope, who will see this and they have not done a sewing project before. So I want to give them a chance to be able to do this project too, because it's very simple and it will save them a lot of money. Okay, on to the next step. It's important to note that if you choose a bold pattern like I chose here, where it's got these circles, and I wanted the circle to show up in the center of the seat, you will have to position your pad or your seat pad on top of the fabric so that when you cut it, it will it will be right at the top of your seat. That's a little bit tricky and a little bit hard to explain in a video without actually showing you. But be careful of that. Otherwise, you know, you can just put it on in an abstract way. It doesn't have to be exact the way that I did it. It could be just as you cut it, put it on that way. It'll still look great. But I just wanted to make you aware that if you're trying to get that bold pattern or to get it right in the center of the seat, you will have to cut it in such a way that that's the way the pattern shows up on your pillowcase. Okay? All right, I hope that makes sense to you. So the next thing that I did is I got busy tucking and folding the seat cover together. Okay, so I slipped the pad inside of the casing, like putting it inside a pillowcase. I slipped it inside, and what you don't see here is that I put a little bit of a stitching on the edge to hold it in there real tight. And then I folded the excess fabric over, and now what I'm doing here is just tucking in the raw edges and pulling it really tight so that it's really tight on the chair when I install it. So I put it on here like this, and then I'm folding in all the raw edges, and then I'm going to pin the pieces down so that they're not moving when I'm stitching it. Now, a lot of times when people cover seats like this, they just nail the fabric on, or they use tacks, or they use upholstery tacks to put the cover back on. But I didn't have any of that, but I do know how to sew, so I'm just using the skills that I have to get this job done as inexpensively as possible. So I just pin this on, and now I'm going to slip stitch this cover on. And slip stitching is quite easy. You just kind of pick up a bit of the bottom and a bit of the top and pull it tight. That's basically what's getting ready to happen. So you need to put as many pins in as possible just to hold everything nice and tight, because you don't want things moving around while you're trying to sew it on. I doubled the thread just to make it nice and strong. And here we go. We're just going to slip stitch this on. The next thing that I did is I tied off the edge of it with a double knot when I got to the end, and just a few extra reinforcing stitches there at the end, just so it doesn't unravel when people sit on it. You know, this chair is going to get a lot of action outside, so we want to make sure it's nice and durable. And now I'm showing you how it looks, the front and the back. This is the bottom part, so you don't really care about the design too much down there. But this is the top, nice and tight. So I felt really good about it. And now it's time to get ready to put it on the chair. So here's the chair, and I just placed it on the seat. I turned the pad upside down so that the seat part is facing the table. And I have some screws that I took out of the chair, and I'm going to put them back. Now here's a little note. I'm pulling the fabric a little bit tight as I put that first screw in, because it was trying to kind of turn the fabric, which was weird. So once I put the first two screws in, there was no problems at all. But there's just 4 screws that need to go back in. And I'm using my trusty dusty power drill, my favorite my favorite tool, Ryobi. Alrighty then, nice and tight and all done. So here are my 2 chairs. I'm so excited about how they turned out. They look like I just bought them from somewhere. Yes, and it's a little bit of a challenge to get that design right in the center of the seat. So as you are cutting out your fabric, you need to be a little bit careful about that part. But here they are. They're all done. Okay, so that's it for today's project. 2 beautiful chairs for the patio. Wow, it came out really, really nice. I got that circle part of the pattern in the center of the seat. I put it on wrong. You might have saw that in the video. I had to take it off and turn it over. But they look like a matching set, so real cool. Hope you like this video. Give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you like seeing these projects that I do and how I'm saving money doing it. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Stay frugal.